Good evening, good afternoon. Kevin, it's good that you're back. I am in the Bundus, so here we go. At least in case I'm thrown out, we can have some order. But yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to be with us tonight. We are going to be looking at gig economy and just seeking to understand what it is, and then also supporting the people managers on how to manage the gig economy and how it's affecting their work and how they can maneuver. So my name is Grace Nzula. I am coming to you live from El Samea. Do you see the picture behind me? That is the lion that was that this place is named after. The lion was adopted by George and the wife, who adopted a lion called Elsa. And the place I'm in right now, it's called El Samea. It is a conservation center where the legacy of what they had done still lives on. They actually have a museum. They have a whole movie that when you come here, you can actually sit down and watch. They have tea the whole day because they always have people come in and out. You can also bring your children here for an educational tour. But my favorite thing to do here is actually rest. It is quiet, it is peaceful. The views, if you have my number, you've seen my status today. I took that video right outside when I was leaving my room this morning. So it is such a beautiful place. Everyone should just come and check out El Samea. It's awesome. So yeah, that's where I am today in, yes, El Samea iko wapi? El Samea is in Naivasha in Kenya for the Ugandans who are here and for the Tanzanians who are here. It is in Kampala. So, oh gosh, it is in Naivasha, Kenya, right? Okay, you guys should have seen what Catherine has done. So yeah, my name is Grace Nzula. I'm a HR consultant and trainer with Atara Solutions. And I'm so excited to be here this evening. You are tuned in to Get It Right with Atara Solutions. We have been doing free webinars every Tuesday for the last, probably since 2020. That's what, almost 4 years now. We started in June 2020, and we are still here. Last year, we were able to have an episode every week from January 18th to November 22nd, every week, imagine. And we are here, we started on the 23rd of January. In case you have missed any of these webinars, please log on to our YouTube channel. It's Get It Right with Atara Solutions. There's a lot of information there, my friends. There's a lot that you can catch up on. And that information that people pay millions to have is up there for free. So please make sure you take advantage of these sessions. That's why they are there. And right, so with us is, we normally do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we do this in partnership with a number of organizations. We have the Human Resource Professional Examination Board, that is HRMPEB. HRMPEB, they offer certification in human resource. Like, for example, I am called CHRP Grace Nzula. I did my CHRP courtesy of HRMPEB. HRMPEB is Human Resource Professional Examination Board. And they are our partners. So if you're a HR professional looking to do your CHRP, please get in touch with me and I'll be able to guide you on how. But you can also check out their website, and they have the step-by-step on how you can get your exemptions. And after exemptions, you can register with a school that can be able to certify, to support you in learning, and also register you for the exams, and then you get certified. So that is what HRMPEB do. And then we have Stallion Construction Company Limited. Stallion Construction Company Limited is a construction company like the name spells it. And if you're looking to renovate your house, if you're looking to renovate your office, if you're looking to also just put up a new building, Stallion Construction do that. And then we have Pathway Solution Services. Pathway Solution Services is headed by one Frank Wambare. Thank you, Frank Wambare, for being part of us from season 3. And we are now season 4, so we appreciate, was it season 3? Even season 2, you were with us. Thank you so much for your support. Pathway Solutions offers HR courses on their LMS. LMS is Learning Management System. So they've been offering our followers quite a number of free sessions. And if you're looking to, I'm sure there was, last week we had what? Anger management and quite a number. We had sexual harassment, we had entrepreneurship. So it depends on the topic of the day. And Pathway Solutions, if you're looking to take a course online, please get in touch with us and we'll be able to link you up with Frank, and you can take your courses, and he offers certificates for that. And then we have a WeClean. WeClean is a carpet cleaning company. If you're looking for carpet cleaners in Nairobi, they have a machine that cleans carpets within 6 minutes. They do free pickup and drop off in Nairobi. So you don't have to worry about the rains and wonder why and stay with a dirty carpet. You do not have to do that. And then we have Suluhu Mediation Center. Suluhu Mediation is a college that offers a certified professional mediator. By the way, I'm a certified professional mediator, courtesy of Suluhu Mediation Center. Please make sure that you sign up for their upcoming virtual class and also a physical class. They also have Saturday classes nowadays. For those of you who don't have flexi hours, it's quite interesting. Mediation is actually fun. We also have Profiles International. Profiles International are the people. They actually have, they offer psychometric analysis. They also are the only people who offer GINO's emotional intelligence certification. So if you're looking to become a coach in emotional intelligence, then Profiles International are your people. They actually have a course starting in May for psychometric assessment. So if you're looking to understand psychometrics better, then they are your people. We also have Kapula Mintito. Kapula Mintito sell coastal snacks that include mabuyu, they include cashew nuts, they include CMOS gel, for those of you who know that what that does. So you can check them out on Facebook and YouTube, Instagram. And then we have Elsamere. Like I said, when I was starting out, I'm actually at Elsamere. If you're looking for a place to come for a vacation, bikecation, solocation, staycation, whatever it is that you want to do with yourself, for your free time, you can come in. If you're around Naivasha, just come in. Even if you're just here for a day, just come in for a cup of tea and just get to enjoy the ambience. And then we have Purpose. Purpose is a technology company. If you're looking for an ERP, then they have your people. And then, of course, we have Steadfast Quality Solutions Limited. This is headed by Herbert Zake. Herbert Zake is in Kampala. Thank you, Herbert Zake. We appreciate you. Thank you for always being with us and for your support. Now, hey. All right, so we appreciate you, Herbert Zake from Kampala, Uganda. Thank you for sharing our flyers widely. Now, tonight, we are going to be looking at the gig economy. Sorry. We are looking at the gig economy, and with us is none other than Prossy. Prossy, are you with us? Are you still there? And yes, as Prossy comes in, allow me to also recognize our sign language interpreter, Madam Catherine Sidandi. We missed you last week, Kathy. I know you were in a place you couldn't log in, but we really missed you. We appreciate you for making us inclusive. Thank you so much. And then, of course, we have my co-host, Kevin. Kevin, are you able to say something? Okay, Kevin, I think he's also having technological issues. I'm telling you, tonight is that night that we just try. Anywho, we're just gonna dive onto the business of the day. So Karibu Sana Prossy, thank you so much for agreeing to do this on such short notice. This lady is a powerhouse, I tell you guys. Wow, she saved my life in ways I can't talk about here. But I also thank Joseph Ajal, who linked me up with her. So Prossy, take it away.
Thank you very much, Grace. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody in the different parts of the world that you are. I hope you can hear me. I keep seeing my laptop warning me about my bandwidth not being too effective. So I hope that it can handle. So I'll start off with a brief introduction of who I am. As Grace has already said, my name is Prossy Kayeny. I am a Ugandan, but I live in Nairobi. I'm currently in Kampala, because I'm a private consultant and I do work in two fields, in HR and also customer experience, because I've had work in both spaces. So I'm a private consultant, but I also, which is the organization that Joseph Ajal heads in Uganda. And then in Kenya, I partner with an organization called Priority Activator Consulting, which in fact, okay, does a lot of psychometric tests, but I think their big niche, our big niche currently is around culture consulting. So there's a program that will be coming up in June. So you can just go to the different pages, LinkedIn, and check that out. And because it might be something of interest, knowing that culture today is at the center of everything that we do. But our conversation for today is around the gig economy. And I like to say that, well, today I'm a top gigger because one of the roles in the gig space is consulting. So I'll just get to share my screen and then we can carry on with the conversation. So the gig economy, we all know that gigs are not a thing of today. From as way back as the olden days, we had stories of, you know, farmers hiring manual laborers to come and help them during harvest seasons to do work for a short period of time and get paid, or people hiring domestic workers for a short period of time. And those are all gigs, you know. And for me, the story of a gig reminds me of my very first job after uni. And it was 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. You go take calls, talk to about 200 customers a day, and you have the rest of your time to do things that you would like to do. So just although today something has changed. Oh, okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we will begin by saying, what is the gig economy? So the gig economy is a segment of the service economy based on flexibility, temporary or freelance jobs, often connecting clients and customers through online platforms. And I think for me, that part of the online platforms is the key thing, because that's the game changer today. Gigs have existed before, but most of them were done through manual or very informal connections. But today, there's a lot of platforms that are connecting customers to people who are supplying.
Prossy, we can't also see your screen. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think we've lost Prossy, but we can engage on the chat. Please tell me, what do you think about the gig economy, or are you part of the gig economy, or what do you understand by the gig, when you hear the word gig economy? What do you understand? We can engage on the chat. What do you understand when you hear the gig economy, or what comes to your mind when you hear the gig economy? What comes to your mind when you hear the gig economy? We can engage on the chat. I'm waiting for you guys to engage. Yeah. Who can I see? Let me see. Okay, Koech, side hustle. Nicholas Koech says side hustle. Madangani Moya says digital business. Rabala says, honestly, I am blank. That's good. And Penina says an event. Okay. Har says, Nyopat says, global village, you can do business with anyone in the world. Brian says a source of income besides your professional job. Niseta says, gigs are short assignments you can undertake and get paid for your skills. Tobon says contracts. Irene Moshoki says freelancing. Marvin says short-term contracts. Side hustle, freelance work, independent contractors. Okay. Prossy, while you are away, we were discussing what people understand by the gig economy. When they hear gig economy, what comes to mind? And quite interesting on the chat, but you can go ahead and continue.
Okay, thank you, Grace. I can actually see that there's a very aligned understanding of the gig economy. And I think for me, the reminder is also that for many businesses and
Prossy, your internet is not agreeing with your gig economy. For tonight, okay. Joram says doing something to earn passive income. Lillian says digital side hustle. And I see you, Lillian. Mondo, it's good to have you back. It's been
today,
a minute.
the thinking around.
Prossy, we had lost you and we can't even see your screen. Okay, she's gone completely. I think it's raining cats and dogs in Kampala. Oh, you're back. You may need to tether with the phone or something. I don't know. Because your screen is also not sharing.
Maybe to help, I should not share. Would that help?
Yeah, maybe you can talk through.
Okay, I'll just talk through and stop the sharing. So, okay, so well, also many 60% of executives say that external workforces enable them to improve their overall financial performance, according to SAP Fieldglass. So where they don't have to pay benefits or overheads for staff that they could use temporarily, they would take on gig workers, which is a positive for them. And then almost 3/4 of executives cite that the importance of gig workers in sourcing had to find, they cite the importance of gig workers in sourcing had to find skills. So for example, today, influencing or digital content creation is a niche. And you might find that within your entire bulk of staff, you do not have anybody who can specifically just be an internal staff who can also do digital content for you. So if you can find a resource that you can use and also be shared among other employers, then that's a plus, you know, or they're open to the conversation around that. And then 3 in 5 leaders increasingly prefer to share resources with other companies as opposed to keeping them as full-time staff. Like I've said, today digital content creation is a niche and you might not have the skill enough around the organization. And so if you can find one digital content creator that can do marketing work for you and many other organizations, as long as there is no conflict of interest or a breach in confidentiality, then they're happy to share such resources. You know, so thinking about your different workplaces, the people that you're employing today will interact with the gig economy in 3 ways. One, there are many gig work platforms that, you know, people can just go and say, I could have done my short shift from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and then decided to say, okay, I will go to Upwork and become a virtual assistant or go to any other platform and take on any other task in the hours that I'm not, you know, working. So a lot of gig platforms that allow for you the flexibility to give an extra 1-2 hours. If you're a kind of person who doesn't like to sleep much in the night, instead of tossing and turning in your bed, you can be able to take on extra tasks. Also, like I've already said, that digital content creators who form a big part of marketing, because organizations have also moved away from traditional marketing to take on content creators, because these guys have already built their own world of content. I was looking at actually some of the stats of some of the top paid digital content creators just in Kenya based on their numbers. And the numbers are quite interesting. You find that at some point, most of them begin to even think that maybe that side gig should become the main gig, you know, because of the amount of money or business that they're able to push. The other option is that your staff would start a business, which has also been one of the most traditional ones. That you have employees in your organization doing whatever job they're doing, they're 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, and then after work, they go to their business.
Julia, the sign language is pinned. Maybe you can move the screen to go to the next one. If she's not being seen and she's on pin, then probably we can move the screen. If you're on phone.
I'm either selling clothes.
Oh yeah, we lost you, Prossy. And then she's gone. Today, the internet is deciding, my God, we are not doing this. And yeah, these are the dangers of the gig economy sometimes, huh? Yeah, Prossy, you can probably also switch off your phone. I mean, your camera, maybe it might help. Or you log in with the phone and maybe
it's gonna be a tough evening.
Yeah, it is one tough evening, yes.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, let me try logging in with the phone and see if that will help.
I think that might work better.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe log in on bundles, not Wi-Fi. Right. And all right. So somebody says that they think the gig economy is for tech guys. I don't think so. I think part of what most of us do are gig economy. There's somebody who texted me the other day, and part of what informed this topic, they said that they're thinking of quitting their job to go and do freelance HR. And for those of us who are from some centuries ago, we all know that may not be, may scare some people into making decisions on to what next. So I found that quite interesting. Like, she's willing to quit her job to go and do freelance HR. I think that's part of the gig economy. I think after this, the next thing we're going to do is probably discuss the contracting. How do you then have contracts with part-timers who are not there full time? And I've seen people who work during the day and at night. Some people will call it side hustle, which is fine. Some of it could be side hustle, but I think the gigs are also bigger because you don't have to have a main hustle. So it can't necessarily be a side hustle. Yeah, right. Prossy, we see you. Are you able to continue? Prossy?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so I was saying that the options today for employees at work is that they have three options. One, they would join the different gig platforms where they can, take on extra tasks outside their work. So for example, if your passion has been around being a virtual assistant, or you're a coder or a programmer, or a software designer, a web developer, different things, they have options of to take on tasks, outside work. The other one is around digital content creation, which has become a big deal today. Almost everybody who has a camera, a decent camera and an internet connectivity can actually take time to create content, and they partner with different organizations, that use their platforms and pay them a very handsome fee, to do the marketing on their behalf. The third one is that they start a business, which has been the most traditional, with the two becoming what the game changer is, what platforms are able to do for you. But also when you're starting a business today, you realize that the role of platform or the internet is a big deal. It doesn't matter what you're selling, whether you're selling shoes or clothes or even a service, you're still able to use different platforms to enable you do your marketing, do your sales, and attract customers. And so from an employer-employee relationship perspective, that is a twist. Because that means that your employer can actually see, if you're a digital content creator, every time you post content on the different platforms, they have visibility of report that I'm not committed. See me sharing reels on my different platforms. Then the question around where is your productivity coming? going to arise. So what is the importance of platforms in supporting, the gig economy today? One is that they offer transparent customer assessment tools. So even as an employer, if you're looking to hire, freelance or contract staff, you go into their different platforms or social media pages where they are, gives you a lot of information in terms of whatever it is that they're doing. You'll see the comments around them, what kind of vibe and feedback, and so make a decision whether that is the sort of person that you want to be associated with your business. There are also simple dispute resolution mechanisms, and I think Uber is one example. If you lose an item in an Uber today, you can go and make comments, and they'll come back and give you some feedback around how to be able to find it. If you give those stars that you give on the Uber app are important, because it tells the next rider that this driver has some issues or specific things around them. But also, even when you're running a business, so you have a full-time, and the fact that you're selling on different platforms means that also from as an employer, then who's employing space, because if customers are saying, I sell shoes and I chip them, I don't deliver, and I've seen a couple of platforms now, buyer be aware or name and shame, on different platforms. So if your employee is consistently coming up, then you know that they have ethical issues, which potentially begins to come into the picture in terms of your employer-employee relationship. The platforms also provide rigorous verification processes, because for the ones where you're taking on gig work, but for a lot of the business owners today, we've seen struggles where people say I paid for a service. I think the platform made it easy to address user concerns and also reduce barrier to entry in the marketplace. So anybody today can really go. You have a business, you can just be able to start it on the different platforms. You don't need to think about so much capital in terms of I need to get a shop, now register it, pay my ground rent, some taxes associated with it, because a lot of that space is still very unregulated, although I've had both KRA and URA saying that a lot of online platforms now need to be taxed. But in terms of entry today, that's an easy space. So if you are employing people who are very switched on and would like to go on, that's a space that they would take on. So how is it beneficial for if I have and managing, or generally what is in it for them as employees? So one, employees keep their skills up to date when they take on gigs. And I would use my own example. I previously was working in the corporate sector, doing L&D roles, doing customer experience roles, doing HR roles, and also taking on consulting work while in the workplace. So when I switched into the consulting business, it was easier because I had already the gigs that the people take on help to sharpen their skills, which could be a plus also for your own workspace, because they may not be the things that they're doing in their mainstream jobs, but when they acquire those skills, they become relevant in helping you to deliver on different tasks. They will make additional money to supplement on their main or full-time jobs. I was looking, like I said before, at some of the numbers of the amounts of money that content creators, digital content creators make. And I think for some of them, that becomes their main gig compared to even what they traditionally they might be making at work. So as an employer is, or to get benefits. People enjoy flexible as and when they please. Can you hear me? And then they can take on independent opportunities in different locations. I don't have to be in Kenya to work in certain spaces, similar and flexibilities and spaces and builds, environments. A large variety of gig platforms are also in different industries. So you have a bit of flexibility to engage, beyond your actual space. But what is the challenge also for an employee engaging in gigs? So one is that even when you are a good salesperson, for example, and your job at work is IT work simply because you're doing very well in your, there are things you might be able to transport and put on your CV to say, okay, I do this well because I've done them out, but they may not necessarily contribute to your current career path in terms of growth. So until you're able to marry those two, it looks like you're putting time and effort into a thing that may not necessarily. And then, of course, in terms of benefits, those gigs won't give you what your traditional job will give you, like health insurance or paid leave. And yet, if you had your typical occupational health and safety hazard related issues, you would still expect that that money that should cover your medical insurance would come from your employer. Or if you're burnt out and you expect to take leave days, that would come from your traditional employer, because in your gig, there is not so much space for you to have the leeway in terms of taking time off, because when you start and you're the main person running the gig, you may not have ability to. There are conflict of interest depending on the area that you're especially at, for example, you're a digital content creator, you're doing a gig for someone in the banking sector. You cannot take on another task for someone and protecting. This reminds me of a time when a colleague of mine in telco was doing a lot of consulting gigs for many companies. And I don't know whether it was because he forgot or it was just not being careful. He took on a gig for another telco to do a training. And of course, once his manager found out, that got him fired, because it was, a clear breach in terms of confidentiality and, protection of IP. Conflicting goals, because now sometimes you might find yourself in a place where you're saying, where do I put my priority? Should it be on my gig or should it be on my traditional job? Because if you're making more money for the gig, first of all, you're assured that your salary is to come, So when I don't focus on it, then I will put and productivity. And sometimes it will also attract some unethical leadership related issues.
This internet has decided today, this gig economy, to show us practically how the challenges of the gig economy works. Welcome back, Prossy. Maybe you can switch off your
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well,
your video.
My video.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope that helps. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I hope it does.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was also saying that one of the challenges associated for employees with the gig economy is that depending on the space that you want, I was giving an example of a Kenyan social influencer who's married to someone in a traditional workplace. And a lot of the times, because she posts content related to family, which is really things that she's doing with her children and trying to show, work life around the family setting. And so the joke around her husband's workplace has become that anytime you don't see him on his desk, you run to his wife's page for you to be able to follow the conversation, to say, is he at home helping her with carrying the children, to have the video well done, or things like that. And that could potentially become, like a downside, because your life is out there. Everybody is following up on the things that you're doing. And sort of to say that if you're not doing well in your job at work, it is because you're dedicating so much time to your gig. Let's focus on the employer now. So for employers, when you tap into the gig, which is basically taking on contract staff or freelancers, one, you have access to a large pool and a global talent. You don't need to look for specific skills that may not exist in your local setting, because they're out there and you can actually be able to find them. So the plus for you is that where you traditionally have to headhunt and pay very expensively to relocate a specific skill from one space, now you can find it, virtually. You have access to niche workers. The digital content creators is a good example. You're also able to benefit from client services in different time zones. And I think this is very relevant for people that operate contact centers, where currently the biggest cost is, trying to run night shifts. And then that comes with the cost of transportation if they're going to leave late in the night, and then paying an extra allowance around that has to deal with the fact that they're working under those night shift conditions. So if you can find stuff virtually in different time zones that can cover for you, that is a plus. It's a cost-saving mechanism because you're dealing with innovative and new employment models. You don't need to hire traditional staff because you can get them hired for you to do temporary work. Also, in terms of recruitment and interviews, because if you have platforms that allow for you to have for specific skill sets, people planning and provide just that skill, then you're able to reduce the cost that would go into your traditional recruiting, hiring, and interview process. And also, if you've spread out your staff, wide, then in terms of brand awareness and outreach, you're out there, so many more people will know about you. However, that also comes with challenges. So one, in different areas or jurisdictions, you will find that the regulations around contractor status are different. So there are some apps, for example, today that you will even go to that have been popularized with gig work, but you find that they will not be able to operate in Africa because they cannot go to the finer details of how do we calculate your pay. Will it be prorated based on time? Is it amount of work that you're putting in? How do we even do those transfers, in terms of pay? And then local loyalty for workers. I mean, if you're doing a gig that is paying you twice as much as your traditional job, then you might find that in terms of commitment, your commitment levels are low, and your gig could easily become, your side gig could easily become your main thing that you do. So, and also if you're finding that you're able to do work for another organization that will give you slightly more, then your commitment levels in terms of your ability to move there become compromised, because you know that anytime, if you find a better deal out there, you will move. We spoke about conflict of interest already, and intellectual property, because how do you guarantee then that the people that are going to these different platforms and engaging with different employers will continue to keep the intellectual property that you have trusted them with, and not, spread it out there to different workers? It may protect in terms of productivity as well. That would be an issue. Doing other things outside work and are not able to be effective and productive is a high risk as well. Then there's questionable use of company technology. We are saying that gig work thrives largely on platform, and part of work using company tools and the internet. So in terms of even just a bridge, because it may not be forget the data, forget the laptops, but just for me to be able to plug that now to another source poses another risk there. What my current gig is giving me versus my employer, I have a lot of flexibility in terms of time. And so that could begin to make me feel like, okay, maybe if I just took on the gig and focused there, it might be a problem. So we'll struggle with. Now, what is the gigs for us as HR practitioners or people managers or people generally that are taking on roles, in the gig economy? So one, data collection and processing systems have to be optimized to adapt to the nature of gig work. So influencers, and you want if you prefer that you enter a contract with them, that they should do a job for you for maybe 6 months, So that means that you need to have proper systems in place for you to be able to account for them and allow you to pay them. So in terms of your HRIS systems, how are you incorporating you know, those people that are coming to do that part-time work for you, to make sure that you can keep track of the things that they're doing. Also in terms of measurement of their performance, because let's still use the example of digital content creators. You have them sitting in your marketing department taking on different tasks every day. How do you as an HR function then make sure that you have in place and just sure that they're delivering on the things that they would like to deliver? Of course, most of the online tools already give you ability to do that, because they have in algorithms, how much engagement, how much traction, how much, you know. Are you able to hear me, Grace? Because I'm seeing a comment saying I'm still breaking.
You just buffered a bit, but you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're lost.
So
Okay,
I'm again. Okay. Okay, so I was saying part of the implication for HR is also around really measurement of performance, which some of them have inbuilt algorithms, built systems in your HR space to allow you be able to measure the performance of the different staff that you're bringing on to take on contract, you know, work. Even for those that you have already employed full-time and you know that they're taking on gigs out there, you might need to rethink to say, do we want to maintain a system that is based on just their output, or is it time bound that I need to see them sitting here between 9 o'clock to 5 p.m.? Or is it that now it should be changed around, you know, the kind of output specifically that they're putting to allow, because it's also because often gigs in spaces or areas where they're actually passionate about the things that they're doing, you know. In terms of providing benefits and coordination, that is also an implication for HR, because then you need to rethink, are benefits going to be structured around monthly pays? Will it be based on number of gigs? Will it be based on number of hours? Will it even be the result that when you did a specific gig, this is how much we're able to benefit from it, and so we can, you know, align the payments around that? So thinking about how you structure your benefit structures and the timings and coordination that arise from that. In terms of legal policies to protect clients, because many times when you hire gig workers into your space, they still have an identity that outside you. And so the question is, if you cannot protect or control, because they could also be confused for your main employees. So if you find out that they're doing things that would be harmful, maybe they've become fraudulent and they're taking money from your customers without your knowledge, or even that you have your own staff that I know an example of a workspace where somebody was in customer service, and their background is that they are a lawyer and they've not been able to find work in the legal space. So they realized that they could provide legal advisory to customers who wanted specific services. And they started to charge them off the cuff hefty sums of money. That was, of course, an unethical thing, but that was to them supposed to be a side gig. So as HR, what legal policies do you have in place to help protect your clients' interests in the face of gigs? You know, so that when things like that arise, what then do you do? Because his argument could be, I was actually providing legal advisory, which in my space should not come for free. But what is your own issue around them now taking exorbitant amounts of money from them in terms of policy and consequences? You know, you need to establish better tracking mechanisms to protect IP and ensure that Hello, Grace, can you hear me?
No, we can't hear you.
Am I back on now? Okay.
Yeah.
I will just try to say my last statement, and I am hoping that we can hang on and do the Q&A. But basically, for me, it would be that one, gig work is a reality. It's here. And as employers, we are taking on contract or freelance or independent workers to do different roles. The teams that I will still wrap up. So I'll say one, gig work is a reality. Organizations will take on contract or freelance or specialized skilled workers. The people that you're employing as full-time staff are looking out there to take on gigs, whether as side hustle businesses, or they're going into the digital space to create content, or going onto online platforms to look for ways that they can actually take on extra work beyond the hours that you're giving them. And that comes with its own challenges. For them, it might be motivating, but it could also affect their productivity. And it poses a risk around your own conflict of interest. And of course, as HR practitioners or people managers, the implication for us is that nearly every aspect of people management, whether it is recruitment, whether it's training, whether it's conflict resolution, whether it's even just managing ethical issues, there is a need to come down to the table and say, how do we have policies, how do we have systems, how do we have processes in place to help us rethink the traditional ways that we're managing all these things, because the gig work reality is with us. And so we need to have the maturity and also the place to accept that it's a people motivator, and as challenges embedded to stay, it's not going away. In fact, it will grow bigger and probably affect us more. So the sooner we embrace it and begin to change different aspects around how we're managing people, then the better for us.
Okay, we have about 3 questions. Prossy.
Yes.
We have got a number of questions where people are asking what are some of the platforms they can access for
that they can access gig work on. Okay, so I think depending on the spaces or areas that you are looking, I see very popular even in within East Africa. That is flexi jobs. So flexi jobs is one which gives a lot of all these entry point job roles, whether it's data entry, customer service related ones, virtual assistant roles are quite many when you Google flexi jobs. Upwork, but you need to check which specific one has roles that can be taken on in East Africa specifically, or Africa, depending on where you are, or outside. So basically different zones or regions where you are. There is Fiverr, that is FIVVER, that also provides, a lot of opportunity. Then there are the traditional ones that have dominated ride-hailing apps. So for example, if you own a car that you'd want to put up, then that that's a space that you can go that allows you to manage or track the driver that you have assigned the work that they'll be doing. Similarly, if you have motorbikes, and you want to enter the border space instead of doing it what would be traditional, that's a space that you can go. There's a Ugandan originated one called Tuvayo, which does 2 things. They have a marketplace, but they also have a travel related. So if you're interested in the tour and travel space, that's one to try. In Uganda, there's Rocket Health, and I think for them it's around health. So they take on different categories of health related service providers. So it is one that you would, some that I can name off. But I'm sure if you Google, you can still be able to find a couple of others. And narrow your search down as much as possible to the specific field that you would like to carry on gig work on, because that helps.
Yeah, there's this, you have said that most of the gig jobs are available virtual online, but I tend to think what I do is also gig work, yeah? I work for 3 organizations at different levels. Isn't that gig work?
Yes, that's true. No, it is. But what I said, Grace, to clarify, was that traditional gig work, which is consulting, which is what me and you do, has existed, you know, and that is probably the way we knew it. But what the game changer has become is the existence of platforms. So that if I was a consultant somewhere and I didn't know how to tap it to that space, then what the platform quickly connect without having, because there's a space where I can just go upload my profile, and if it matches specific skills, because there is data in the background to help verify, then it becomes easier. So it's a game changer. So it doesn't take away from what we have traditionally. It's enabling and easing entry into what traditionally would have barriers.
Yeah. I also think consultancy can be termed as so. Yes, that is what Prossy has said. Karamonga is asking about HR work online. I have not seen any, but I know quite a number of people who do it.
I haven't got the question, Grace.
The HR work, what are some of the sites for HR work?
You're breaking. What are some of
the sites? What are some of the sites that they can get gig work for
that
HR?
offer HR work? There's one I will, okay, as we carry on, I will remember the name, but I think Upwork itself offers HR work. Because a lot of, okay, they have different options. They have a lot of writing related skills related. Check what regions they're currently offering the different skills for, because I know that they have limitations in terms of some parts of Africa where they're currently not reaching because of the issue around contractor statuses and how they'll make payments.
Yeah. Right. I think we have exhausted the questions for today. Kumbe, the internet really affects human beings, I see. But it's all good.
Oh no, the internet has been terrible.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. It's been terrible, but not to worry. We shall do it again at some point. So I think if there are no further questions, allow me to say this. This webinar is brought to you by Atara Solutions in partnership with Profiles International, Elsamere Conservation, Profiles International, Elsamere Conservation, Pathway Solutions, and then Human Resource Professional Examination Board. And right, I don't know whether there are actually no other questions, Prossy. So give us your closing remarks.
Okay. Thank you very much, Grace and Atara Solutions, for the opportunity today. The network challenges notwithstanding, we hope that there'll be an opportunity for a better engagement. And I think for me, just a parting shot to say that the gig economy or gig work today is our new normal, and we need to embrace it, but also think about different ways that we can actually exploit the technology options in our hands outside the platforms, using your own different social media platforms that you have. It's already an opportunity for you to go out there and serve whatever skill or whatever problems in your space that you think that you can actually be able to serve. Go out there, because it builds you, it builds skill and builds you for the future employee that will be desirable across different organizations.
Okay, somebody's saying, can you share the slides too? Okay. We will share the slides, I think. Frank, I have seen your comment. Can we pick that up next week, kindly? Frank, I'll let you know on WhatsApp why I'm saying we push it to next week. All right, and okay, Prossy, I think we can call this a night. I know the internet was not very fair, but I think later we can check. We are beginning the month of May. The month of May is actually a mental health month, and so we are looking to host, to have a conversation on mental health quite a lot. So I hope that you're going to join us. And for those of us who have joined today for the first time, please join our WhatsApp group and get to know what's happening with the Atara Solutions. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel where we upload all our recordings. And yes, the links have been shared on the chat. So please join the WhatsApp group to be informed on what's happening. Get it right with the Atara Solutions. We seek to demystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. And therefore, it would be nice if you kept up with what's happening. So please join our WhatsApp group. And as such, also subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch up on what you may have missed. So thank you very much. I see Prossy people are saying that it was good except for the internet, and especially for those who are job hunting. It was quite helpful. So yeah, I'm sure we'll try and clean up where we can. If not, then we'll just upload it as much as we will be able to. But thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Thank you very much for sacrificing your time. We appreciate you. Thank you, our audience. Please follow us on Instagram, Atara Solutions. Like our Facebook page. By the way, we were live on Facebook, Atara Solutions, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get it right with Atara Solutions. Of course, this is me, Grace Ndula, with my co-host, Catherine Sidandi, who is our sign language interpreter. And of course, we're coming to you live from El Samea. You need to check out El Samea on their Facebook and Instagram, and also on their website. It is such a beautiful place. You guys have no idea. And the food is out of this world. You just don't eat feed on views. You also get amazing food. So now I need to rush and catch up on my dinner, because probably the chef is about to go and sleep, because this is a quiet and very personal place. So thank you so much. Thank you, Prossy. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, our audience. And see you next week, same time, same place, as we discuss mental health.